Marco Simoncelli. Sepang, October 23rd, 2011. Humid air, engines like thunder. Lap 2, turn 11. Marco Simoncelli leans in, the rear slides, and suddenly bites. Bike and rider snap back across the racing line. Two machines arrive with no time to dodge. The impact is brutal and final. Red flags wave, medics sprint. The grandstands fall into a stunned hush. In the paddock, teammates stare at the timing screens that won't change. He was 24, fearless and fast, racing exactly the way fans loved him for. He didn't lose because of hesitation. He lost to physics at full speed, the merciless math that rules every lap. The sport kept moving, but for a moment, the whole world was quiet. Cause of death, catastrophic blunt force trauma to the head, neck, and chest from high-energy collisions with following motorcycles after a loss of control. Ray Chapman. New York City, August 16th, 1920. Evening settling over the Polo Grounds. Crowd restless, game tight. On the mound, Carl Mays. Low submarine motion. Ball riding high and in. Ray Chapman barely turns. There's a crack, so sharp the catcher thinks it's wood. Chapman wobbles, drops the bat, takes a step toward first, then folds to the dirt. Players wave frantically. The diamond goes silent. In the clubhouse corridor, and then the ambulance. He drifts in and out. Surgeons work through the night, trying to relieve the pressure inside a skull that's no longer protecting, just breaking. By morning, baseball has its first and only on-field fatality. Cause of death, a depressed skull fracture from a pitched ball striking the temple, producing massive intracranial hemorrhage and swelling that led to rapid neurological collapse. Nodar Kumaritashvili. Whistler Sliding Center, February 12th, 2010, hours before the Olympic opening ceremony. The track is glass hard and fast. Nodar Kumaritashvili settles onto the sled, visor down, shoulders tight. The countdown clicks off. He rockets into the run, speed building with every curve. 80, 85, nearly 90 miles an hour. Exiting a high bank turn, the line drifts. The right runner kisses the wall. The sled snaps sideways, and in a blink, he's launched out of the track. Steel flashes. Rescue crews sprint. CPR begins on the concrete apron as the sirens close in. A helicopter waits, but time is already sliding away. He was 21, chasing a dream on one of the fastest tracks ever built. The world stopped to watch the flame. Cause of death, massive blunt force trauma to the head and torso after being ejected from the luge track at high speed and striking a steel support. Fabio Casartelli, Pyrenees, July 18th, 1995. A hot afternoon on the descent to the Col de Porte d'Aspet. Road narrows, speeds climb, bikes hum in a tight line. A touch of wheels, a sudden ripple. Fabio Casartelli slides out, skids across the tarmac, and slams headfirst into a roadside concrete block. The peloton veers around, team cars brake hard. Race doctors are there in seconds. Oxygen mask, compressions, frantic shouts for a helicopter. Teammates stand stunned, hands on helmets, listening for any sign he'll breathe on his own again. The siren fades down the valley. The race rolls on because it has to, but the day feels hollow and heavy. He was 24, graceful on climbs, fearless on descents, riding in cycling's biggest month. The next morning, the start line is quiet. Cause of death, catastrophic head injury, basilar skull fracture with massive intracranial hemorrhage and brain swelling after high-speed impact with a concrete barrier. Alexander Polli, Montserrat, Spain, August 22nd, 2016. Morning light washes the limestone spires. Wind is steady. Cameras ready. Alexander Polli edges off a ledge in a blackened neon wingsuit. Helmet cam blinking. He dives. The mountain rushing past like a moving wall. Proximity flying means inches. Stone. Air. Heartbeat. He knifes along a rib of rock. Drops to keep speed. And a patch of green surges up. Branches. One tall tree. There's no margin. No second try. The hit is sudden and complete. No canopy. Friends sprint downslope, radios crackling coordinates, but the valley goes quiet. Rescuers reach him among needles and dust. The sky is bright and indifferent. He was 31, a pioneer who made cliffs look soft and flight look simple. Cause of death, massive blunt force trauma to the head and torso. Bill Masterton, Bloomington, Minnesota, January 13th, 1968. Cold air hangs over the Met Center, ice like glass under bright lights. A routine rush turns awkward. Contact, skates tangling, balance gone. Bill Masterton tumbles backward, no helmet, and his head meets the ice with a sound that stops everyone. Sticks drop, trainers slide in, teammates kneel, the crowd goes quiet. In the tunnel, it's oxygen and urgent voices. In the ambulance, it's sirens and steady hands. At the hospital, scans, lines, a ventilator taking over. Pressure climbs inside the skull faster than hope can. He never wakes. The next practice is silent. The bench feels wrong with his spot empty. Cause of death, catastrophic traumatic brain injury, acute intracranial hemorrhage, and severe brain swelling after striking the back of his unprotected head on bare ice. Ayrton Senna. Imola, May 1st, 1994. Opening laps of the San Marino Grand Prix. The air tight with nerves after a hard weekend. Lap 7, Tamburello. Ayrton Senna's Williams shoots straight instead of bending left. There's a hiss of tires, then the concrete wall. The car shudders to a stop. Yellow turns to red. Marshals run. A doctor drops to his knees. Helicopter blades beat the noise flat over the circuit while millions watch in stunned silence. In Bologna, hospital lights are bright, monitors relentless. The greatest driver of his era lies impossibly still. He was 34, calm in chaos, precise at the edge, and for a moment, the sport feels suddenly very small. Cause of death, catastrophic head trauma, severe skull fractures, and brain injury from high-energy impact. Duk Koo Kim. Las Vegas, November 13th, 1982. Caesar's Palace, under bright desert lights, cameras sweating, crowd electric. 14 rounds with Ray Mancini, punches traded like promises, neither man giving an inch. The ref waves it off in the final round. Duk Koo Kim tries to stand tall, then wilts. He slumps to the canvas, eyes dimming as the noise falls away. Ringside doctors rush in. Oxygen, IVS, a stretcher cutting through the aisle. Sirens carve a path to the hospital. Surgeons open his skull to relieve the pressure. Machines take over the breathing. Family prays. Teammates stare at the floor. And Las Vegas suddenly feels very quiet. He was 23, a relentless challenger who turned a title shot into a war. Cause of death, acute subdural hematoma, bleeding on the brain from cumulative blunt force trauma during the bout. Sarah Burke. Park City, Utah, January 10th, 2012. The super pipe is cut perfect. Blue shadows on white walls. Sarah Burke drops in smooth. Quiet focus, easy speed. On the landing, she comes in a touch flat. Edges bite. Momentum whips forward, and she slams hard. It looks simple, then it isn't. She doesn't stand. Coaches wave in patrol. Oxygen mask, a neck collar, urgent voices. Compressions begin right there on the snow while sirens rise from the base. A helicopter rides the ridgeline towards Salt Lake City. In the ICU, monitors tick and families whisper. Teammates leave messages on phones she won't unlock. Days stretch. The room stays bright and cold. She was 29, the face of half-pipe skiing, turning possibility into a sport. Cause of death, a vertebral artery tear sustained in a superpipe crash, causing severe intracranial hemorrhage and subsequent cardiac arrest. If you enjoyed this animation, please subscribe for more and support my small channel. Share your ideas for the next video in the comments.